These 6 little known tactics will change your LinkedIn account forever. But don't just take my word for it. Here is a look at my own LinkedIn account. You can see that I didn't have very many followers, and then suddenly I took off like a rocket ship. And then you can also see that these are the types of clients that I've landed directly from LinkedIn. So I'm not just getting followers, these are also converting into paying clients. And I'm going to walk you through the 6 different tactics that you probably don't know about that will help you also grow your LinkedIn account fast and turn that into business. So tactic number 1 is connection requests. And you might think, all right, Matthew, I've heard of connection requests before. How is this little known to me? So most people use their posts as the only source of traffic for LinkedIn. So you post, people see you on the feed, they click on your profile, they hit connect or they hit follow. But people don't realize that you can send up to 200 connection requests per week. Now, if you're an account that's just starting out, say you have 500 followers, you can post, and let's say that 10% of your audience sees your post. So 50 people see it, maybe a few of them engage with it, and then a few new people see you. And so every time you post, let's say you get 2 or 3 new followers. Well, if you post every day for an entire month, that's 30 days. Let's say you get 3 new followers each time. That's 90 followers or 90 connection requests in a month that you would get. Now that's awesome. And over time, as you keep posting more content, that will continue to grow. However, it's not that much. If you have 500 followers, you go from 500 to 590, then you go to 700, then you go to 800 month over month. If you actually want to really accelerate the growth, especially as you're getting started, what you can do is you can make a list of the people that you want to connect with. So whoever your target audience is, and go and send 40 connection requests a day, Monday through Friday. And that way, you're going to get potentially 200 new connection requests. There's very few circumstances in which 100% of people will actually accept it. So I would expect something like 30 to 50% of people to actually accept the connection request. And that is going to, you could, let's just say 30%. You send a blank connection request, you don't attach any note to it, then you'd be getting 60 new followers per week, which would be essentially what you were getting per month beforehand. And so this is an easy way to accelerate your growth as you're getting started. And if you want to continue, you absolutely can. One other little known thing is, so if you get LinkedIn Premium, you pay $99 in Sales Navigator every single month, then you can send up to 50 outbound messages every month. So those are people that you're not connected with. You could just send them messages. But did you know that you can send unlimited messages to the people that you're already connected with? You can. So that's another reason why connection requests can be super powerful. All right, tactic number 2, hooks. So I had a client who came to me and they said, hey, look, I'm getting a ton of great engagement from my existing followers. It's actually led to some opportunities. They're reminded that like I'm always top of mind to them. And so whenever they think that they need my service, like I'm the first person they go to. He's like, that's amazing. But I feel like we need to expand our reach. We need to get outside of our existing network. And one thing that I told him was, so we'd been writing all of his content, but he was changing his hooks. He was changing all of the hooks that we wrote because he just wanted them to be a little bit different. But the way that he was writing his hooks, they just weren't optimized. And so I want to show you just this example. So this is called a curiosity gap. So you can see here in this first one, we say a client did $1 million in sales last year with case study posts. And then that is where it cuts off. So if you're on LinkedIn, it'll say ... see more. In reality, it says ... more. You can see we're optimized for mobile, which 80% of users are on mobile, so very important. And so this isn't going to get that many people to click. Like, yeah, it's still kind of interesting. Some people will click, but a lot of them won't. Now let's compare it with this next side. So this one says a client did $1 million in sales last year, period. So very like authoritative statement. And then you say all with this one kind of post. And they can't see what's below. They just see all with this one kind of post. And then they have to click ... see more. So they click it and then they get rewarded. Case study posts. You can imagine that this one will probably have 3 or 4 or 5 times as many people click on it, just from switching up the wording a little bit. And so writing the hooks in a way that gets people to click and read the post dramatically affects the reach of your posts. And so that's something that doesn't take that much time, but makes a huge difference. Next, tactic number 3, strategic tagging. So social media has often, like for a lot of people, it's pure consumption. And so basically we just want to make social media social. And so a great way to do that and to engage the people that you want to engage with is to tag them. And so I'm going to show you an example of how I do this. So every week I do something like this. So my hook is, I collect LinkedIn hooks like your uncle collects conspiracy theories. Here are 10 of the best ones I've seen in the past week. And then you can see here, I've got a bunch of different people that I have their little pictures. This post got 10,000 impressions, 100 likes, 40 comments. And what I do is in the actual text, I tag all of them. So you can see they're all tagged here. And there's a good chance that 1 or 2 or 3 of these people will actually see the post, they'll like it, and they'll even leave a comment. And so this often happens, and because I'm usually tagging like pretty sizable accounts, a lot of their followers see it, and it helps boost my posts. And so this is one way you could do it. Another way is if you meet with a lot of people in person, you can say you have an event, you can make a post about the event and tag all of the people who you met. And it's a great way to get them to engage, which means you'll get outside of your little circle. If you're feeling a little bit stuck, this is a great way to expand your network. Tactic number 4, public asset breakdowns. So this is an amazing tactic. You can see here's an example that I did where I said Ali Abdaal is a genius creator. And then I mentioned several things that were complementary. And then what I did after that is I said, but he's missing out on a lot of revenue on LinkedIn. And I said, here's all of the things that he could do to improve. And you could see I broke him down. This is a 7-page document. I broke down his profile. I broke down his content. I broke down his landing page. It was like a complete breakdown. And it was very educational. I tagged him, which gives him the chance to see this and to engage with it. And people love this. Like if you're an expert at something, if you build landing pages for people, or you do email marketing, or you do CRO, like whatever it may be, if you're able to break down something publicly and show your expertise, people love seeing. This is maybe you've heard the phrase show, don't tell for marketing, where you try and show proof that you know what you're doing instead of telling them that you know what you're doing. And this is a great way to do it. And it really educates people as well. Okay, tactic number 5, viral giveaways. And so you may have seen these on other platforms. On Twitter, I saw these several years ago. People do these on Instagram where they say, comment XYZ, and I'll DM you the resource. And so basically what you're doing is you are bribing people to engage with your posts. So you create something valuable, and you tell people in the post how valuable the thing you created is. And then you say, if you want this thing, all you have to do is drop a comment and I'll send it to you. And that way, you get something and they get something. So you get their comment, which expands the reach of the post because their followers will now see it. And they get whatever valuable resource you've put together. And you can see this is one I did just 2 weeks ago that got 2,200 comments, 79,000 impressions. And also because I'm sending people off-site, I'm collecting emails. And so I got several hundred email subscribers just from this one post, as well as a ton of new followers, leads. This is a very, very powerful tactic. Now, there's a few things to be aware of and careful of when you're doing these. The first is that you actually make whatever you're giving away good. You can imagine if 500 people, 1,000 people go and view this guide that I put together, and it's a terrible guide, then what are those people going to think of me? They're going to think that I'm not very smart. They're going to think that I'm never going to read this guy's content again. I'm never going to get another one of his resources. And it's just going to be a huge net negative for me. And so you want to make sure these are good. But imagine that people have a great experience. They're like, wow, this was one of the most valuable things that I've been through. Like if he does another one, I'm absolutely going to comment and try and get these. And just the idea is like, if you can make these valuable, then then this is an awesome tactic. And if you can't, then like don't do them. So that is tactic number 5. And let's come to the finale, tactic number 6. So this one is controversial, engagement groups. So I'm going to tell you why it's controversial. Most of the social platforms, so Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, they discourage any like inauthentic engagement, meaning they don't want you to pay me to engage on your posts. However, a lot of accounts do offer that. If you have 100,000 followers, then guess what? You've got a lot of reach. And so a lot of those folks, they sell their engagement. They say, yep, you can pay me $500 per month, and me and 3 of my buddies that all have 100,000 followers, we're going to comment on any post that you send us. And that's what a paid engagement group is. And an organic one is less discouraged because there's no real incentive, like dollar incentive. It would basically be me saying to 5 of my friends, hey, let's post on LinkedIn every single day and let's comment on each other's posts so we can boost each other. And that way, we're never going to have any post that has 0 likes. It's going to have a minimum of 5 likes because there's 5 of us friends, and it's going to have a minimum of 5 comments. And this is a way where you can basically get more engagement and help other people get more engagement. And I actually really like this. I'm a big fan of these organic engagement groups, and it can be formal, it could be informal. But if you're able to just get several people who are commenting on your posts every day, and maybe you're doing the same with them, then I see this as a great way to increase your reach. Now, if you want to do paid engagement groups, just be aware that you might be violating the terms of service. And so there's a little bit of potential for getting in trouble with whatever social platform, in this case LinkedIn. But it also might be a great way to grow your account. I will say, just on the negative side, I have seen some people who they will have this like amazing engagement on their accounts, and then one day they decide, I'm not going to pay for engagement groups anymore, and they post, and you can tell that their engagement is 1/10 what it used to be. And so that's the downside, is you can become a little bit reliant. I think there's people who do paid engagement groups but are less reliant as well. And so it's just something to, weigh the pros and cons, but it definitely is another way to change your LinkedIn account forever, continue to grow. And so those are the 6 tactics that you can use to change your LinkedIn account forever.